Daniel DDK Kapadia, how's it going, brother?
Hello, I'm good, you know, at the major, so it can be better.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you, Daniel, but I wanted to do it in a specific location. What do we have here?
Well, nice little calisthenics setup, some street workout going on.
And why do you think I've picked this for you?
Well, because I guess, you know, I like to do pull-ups and stuff.
Yeah, but
I'm a
also
pretty fit guy.
Your background in gymnastics.
Well, very amateur, but...
Yeah, but nonetheless, it's kind of where it all started, right?
Yeah, and I became riddled with injuries, so so it's, yeah, I've got to be careful these days, but I've recently been drawn back in, so getting back into it again is tough, man. Okay,
Dan, gymnastics, we mentioned it. Give us the background.
Well, I lived in a little village in the countryside, right? But I was really into that idea, so I had to like start a club and stuff. I was doing it for a couple of years, but then I got injured really badly with my shoulder, so I had to like quit martial arts, gymnastics, all that kind of stuff. But 6 years on, present day, I'm getting back into like the calisthenics and the bodyweight stuff, and it's going really well.
And were you doing this alongside the gaming? Where were you in your professional gaming career at the time?
I would have just been starting like going to university and stuff, and then finding out that university, like I actually dropped out. It's not really, like, I shouldn't really be a role model here. I kind of like dropped out.
Sometimes dropping out works, just like it has for you.
It worked out for me. I was doing law, didn't really work out for me too well. But it's that kind of timing, and also like all the gaming stuff had kind of come to just, I mean, that period was really rough. Like 2008 had the financial crash. I mean, I was a guy that kind of specialized in Quake as well. Wasn't really too much going on. In Quake Live was just kind of starting, and it, yeah, I just kind of got disenfranchised from it all, and I was just trying new stuff out. So that's when it started to happen. But then yeah, injuries, man. I mean, you know, right?
Injuries, they can suck. Everybody, be careful if you do anything at home. Okay, Dan, so before we get into talking about your casting and where you are now, what kind of exercises do you like to do at the moment on equipment like this?
All right, so at the moment it's not like the biggest focus, but I mix in a lot of stuff with bars. So there's like a few gymnastic skills which I think are really useful, and they're mostly referred to as levers, because obviously you have the obvious things like pull-ups and stuff, which pull-ups are always going to be good, but you have stuff like the back lever and the front lever, and these are two skills I've been working on.
Thank you, man.
Awesome
that was
work.
sick. How long have you guys been training for?
For like 1.5 years.
That's so much progress for such a short time.
That's actually really insane, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you guys for the cameo. We really appreciate it. Dan, those guys were insane. When you see that and they tell us they've only been doing it for a year and a half, how do you compare it to yourself in Counter-Strike? Because you've been working so hard for so long to get where you are now.
Yeah, it's just dedication, isn't it? It's just dedication to grind. And especially with something like this, I mean, if you, like, there's a trainer, there's a Russian trainer who coined this term called grease the groove, which is basically like do something every day, basically. You don't, it's not like the bodybuilder training where we have like, you split your workouts in different muscle groups. Kind of like, they probably just come here every day, just practice the skills, and it's a lot of the strength training is practice. So, I mean, they've obviously been practicing super hard. And the same thing, as you say, with casting is like, you do some serious grinds. Like if anyone's been watching or following my career, it's like there's been some crazy grinds, and that really benefits you a lot. There can be some negatives to it as well if you don't ever take the time to self-reflect. So that's like the most important part, really.
Yeah, well, in the early days, you were working for very, very long periods at a time, correct?
Oh yeah, and we did a lot of like night hours as well, and I mean, often like minimum hours for like a broadcast day is maybe 10 hours for like the studio stuff, and it's like a very big marathon. I think that's actually why originally people really started to like me and James, because when we would get to North America, because we'd do like 4 or 5 hours already, and we get to, maybe there's an hour break, and we get to the North American period, and it's like very late for us. Oftentimes we're just like a bit delirious, so like quite tired. So we just started talking about very random things, and I think people started to really enjoy that. And even though it's quite difficult to do, we managed to cope with it, and I think it showed us, actually, hang on, this personality thing, that just naturally comes out when we're so tired. It actually is an amazing, resource that we can go to time and again. People really enjoy it, so that taught us a lot as well, and it's something that you wouldn't like you wouldn't necessarily go, that's a good idea. But you know, once you do it, you're like, okay, I've learned a lot from this, and it's gonna, I think, benefit us in the future. Because also when you do, as you know, if you go to an event like this, you need to have that endurance training.
Indeed. We've got a lot of days here in Poland. We still have many more to come. It's been great so far. Dan, why don't we do some final exercises and see what you can do on the bars?
We could have a pull-up competition, Paolo. I don't know. We could do
Dan,
dips, you know.
I'm not in the best shape of my life, but maybe we can do some pull-ups together.
All right, that sounds romantic. Let's do that.
Is there space on the bar? Okay, we're gonna try and do this together.
All right.
I'm out of there. I'm going home.
It's a shame, Paolo.
We're in this together. We're a team, all right?
Okay.
No, I'm playing. All
right.
You have royally showed me up in the pull-up game. That was fantastic, Dan.
All right, it's good. I feel like we've bonded. I've never shared a bar with someone before.
Neither have I. That was an interesting experience.
See you, man. All right.
Thank you everybody for joining us, me and Dan, on this little park excursion. Hopefully now you've gotten to know Dan a little bit better. Dan, I think it's time for us to shoot off.
I think so. You can go ahead, Paolo. I think it's time for some dips. It's always time for dips.
But Dan, you have to cast.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, whatever.
Bye, Paolo.
Such a show off, Dan.